deeper than music.
The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
Hello, everybody out there in TV land, podcast land, internet land, wherever you are in the world, in the worldwide internet. This is your man Furious, Deeper Than Music Radio, July 18th, Hump Day, Wednesday, and we got a special treat, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we got a friend, mentor, DJ, producer, songwriter, music engineer, and now to add to his long list of hats, film director Gary Devon Dotson is in the building. Gary, how you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good, brother. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. You know, we in Texas, man. We in the triple digits, so you know, staying hydrated and cool.
That's all you can do.
Oh yeah. So we've had many conversations. You were on season 2 with Deeper Than Music. I want to say episode 2, and now we're back. And just released a full feature film, indie film called Broken Doll, that's out on Amazon. Man, congratulations! I mean, always doing something big. You know, always something big, and always something independent. So my first question is, what is Broken Doll? Can you give us a little synopsis without sharing too much of the film?
Well, Broken Doll is metaphor to a woman that's actually broken in this case. So we have a husband that's doing what any husband would do for his wife or a loved one, is taking care of that person. What basically happens is he cares for her for so long, and basically she escapes from his care. And once she escapes from his care, from all the medications that she was supposed to be on and help him doing all these things, that she actually pretty much goes on a killing spree until he actually finds her. And so that's pretty much the synopsis, where he actually has to get her before she gets them.
Oh, wow. That in itself sounds like a very, very unique and very scary situation. So what we'll go ahead and do right now for the listeners out there, we're going to give you a little audio piece of the trailer from Broken Doll, and then we'll talk more with Gary Devon Dotson here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
What would you do if the person you love was diagnosed with a rare mental disorder?
Greg?
I did what anyone would do. I took her into my care.
Greg?
No doctor. No facility. No one knows her better than me. I don't know how this happened, but now she's missing. And I must find her before she finds them.
Man, that sounds scary. That sounds real scary. Definitely looking forward to checking that out. So my next question is, how did you go from, we know you do music, how did the transition, how did you eventually land to doing your own independent movie? What was that process, that evolutionary process?
Well, I look at it like this. Ultimately, music is still my heart. So I'm into publishing and things like that for music publishing, licensing, and placements and things like that. And I noticed when actually I was doing the score and sound design for a friend's film, how much of importance that the sound is played into a film. It's almost like, surprisingly, it's about 70, maybe 75% of a film is depending on not only just like acting or special effects or anything like that. None of that stuff really matters without good sound to bring it to life. So I already had an advantage. So I said, you know what, this is something I could do. So a little over a year ago, we had a team meeting with NVE Records that we have a yearly party. And I actually announced that we're going to start a film because I realized I love to write. And writing songs and writing films and stuff like that, it's just writing, it's creating. I love to create. So in this aspect, actually writing this film was a lot easier, surprisingly, to write than writing an actual song that's crammed into 3.5 minutes. I have like an hour and a half or so much to actually really elaborate on the story. So it was actually a lot easier. So I just wanted to try it. A lot of people say, hey, man, you should do a short film first, do this. And I actually just jumped right into a feature film, very first film, and got a distribution deal with Amazon. And it's actually taken off, and it's doing pretty good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because I never thought about that. Well, actually, me and my daughter, when I was her age and when I was younger, it wasn't the visuals. I would cover my ears. I wouldn't cover my eyes. And people were like, what are you doing? I'm like, the sound is what gets you. For example, if you took the sound out of The Sixth Sense, which I think is one of the scariest movies, you take the sound out, that movie is really nothing. And then I notice what people say, a lot of people that do film, they're like, the film could be good, but if the sound quality is horrible, it's not good. And you mentioned the writing was easier. Could you describe what was your process when developing the storyline, developing the characters? Like, how did you start? How was that process?
Actually, I'll be honest. We were when we came up with the title "Broken Doll." Actually, the title "Broken Doll" was brought up to me by Mandy Pimental and her husband Doug. They actually we were at the holiday party at my house here. And they was like, yeah, oh man, we should have this idea of what maybe like a broken doll. And they were saying like a love story. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. But let's write it differently, because I know coming in as an indie to do a love story or to do a comedy or to do a drama or action, you really have to have some big household names. The only movies you can really get away with and be successful with as an indie just starting off, trying to make a name for yourself, is horror, is a thriller, or is a like a sci-fi type of film. Those, or documentary, those style movies, people don't expect, award-winning, acting and all that stuff. They're expecting, somebody's going to die in the scene and somebody's going to do this and that. So what I did is I took their idea and I elaborated on it with a twist. So people, because everybody like to get a little scared here and there.
Yeah.
There's a market for that. So going back to the film that I did sound design for, I thought like, hey, okay, it's cool. I wasn't impressed, to be honest. So it let me know, because honestly, the film didn't get picked up. The guy's film didn't get picked up with the original sound. When I redid the sound, it got picked up left and right. So it lets me know that more of the stuff that I have in my own in-house with the music and things like that, and the writing and things like that, so I could do that. Just have to bring this to life visually. So
yeah,
that pretty much was the start point of it, and we took a turn for it. So that was the one that was like, hey, okay, this is your first film, and I'm a realist at the end of the day. I know that your first anything people will usually sleep on. So if anything, I have a lot more stories and a lot more film ideas and things like that. But if anybody have to sleep on anything. I'd rather it be this before we go into the next one.
So you saying that this is like just getting experience under your belt and
exactly.
just getting that experience. And I think that's what I'm glad you say that, man. I'm glad you think like that, because a lot of people are scared to do the first, but you got to start. You know what I mean? There's got to be a beginning. I remember I watched something on John Singleton, and I didn't know out the gate his first film was Boys in the Hood, and he was talking about how, you know, there's a mistake here and there, but to me, Boys in the Hood was good, you know. And like you said, you know, this is for the experience, and you have like real expectations. This first one may not be a ballpark hit, but it's a start, and I get the experience under my belt.
Exactly. This is a film that I can, you know, get a man on base. It's not the home run that I feel, because I even see my like flaws, because even from that time of making it to now, I even improved so much as a cinematographer or as a director, and I see things a lot differently now, because this was just totally green for me. I mean, I barely shot a couple of music videos under my belt, but I understand the artistic creativity of it. So I was able to captivate cinematic shots or do, you know, aerial drone shots and things like that. And with technology on our side as an independent, it's like beyond, there's no excuse to really get your stuff out there. I tell other people, like, hey, there's some guys I've just met, actually. They're great at what they do, but they focus on doing the shorts and doing the traditional route. And sometimes the traditional route will get you in traditional traffic. That'll keep you in the same place where everybody's doing the same thing. So it's going to be hard to hear how good you are. So, yeah, that's why I said, okay, fine. I'll just go ahead and do a whole film. Why do I have to do the shorts and follow the same rules that everybody have to go by? Let me make my own rules and just do it. And you never know what happened. Now we have it available, a film distribution company that's backing us with Amazon, and you know, which is one of the biggest companies in the world.
That's huge, and I like what you say. That I've seen some stuff on YouTube. I've seen a lot of stuff that people have done as far as with special effects, the whole nine. And it's like, wow. It's like with us with audio. You know, when I used to push my CDs, they like, what studio did you go to? My bedroom with the bamboo soundproof booth. You know what I mean? Like exactly. You could do a lot with technology, and I like what you said, man. You create your own rules, you create your own path. Because let's be real, Amazon is like what CD Baby, what iTunes was to the music game. Like right now, it is changing traditional brick and mortar stores. Like I remember you was telling me stories about working at Blockbuster. Blockbuster is dead and gone now, so you have to use technology to your advantage. Another question I have: how long did it take for you to develop the whole storyline and get that all squared away to, like, you know what, I got a good storyline. Let me get the actors. Let's put this plan in motion.
I was so hyped in the beginning. I wrote the story in probably less than a week.
Oh,
wow.
The
whole movie was written in less than a week. It probably was more like 3 or 4 days. I did that, but because it was such a low budget, and I was giving opportunities to people that wanted to, you know, act and give, you know, things like that, I felt like a need to help people in that aspect, because they were helping me in return as far as being available, and some for little or nothing, if nothing, you know, because the budget is so small. But surprisingly, like I did a lot of my education for the filming side came from the University of YouTube. So I tell. So University of YouTube showed me how to do lighting tricks, create a moon that wasn't there or whatever, with just lighting through the window blinds and all these type of things. So we bought the stuff on eBay and got little stuff and got cameras with great low lighting and things like that, and we made it happen. And surprisingly, like, people were comparing it to, you know, when people see it, they said, okay, these guys had at least $700 to $1.5 million budget for this film. And that is not the case. I'm not going to say how low it was, but that is not the case.
You're like, nah, we ain't do it.
Yeah, but it's the thing is, because I'm blessed to wear a lot of hats, and I wear those hats pretty well. So having my own record company and having my own publishing company, so everything now is kind of sourced through us. So now we have the visual aspect of a film situation. I'm, kind of like, you kind of have to go through me in order to get your music placed in the film that we do, and it actually kind of leans better situation for our in-house artists, because now they have an avenue to get their music placed, get mechanical royalties and whatever, things like that.
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking about it. We were talking about the movie, and then I was thinking about the soundtrack, and I'm like, exactly. You making money through distribution, through royalties from the movie, and then the music, it comes back to you. Yep. So now my go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, even to take it a step further, is not only that we're getting we're going to get like royalties obviously from the film, but then now we have a soundtrack for the film that's going to be releasing in another month and a half. We have a soundtrack coming out for that film because and that showcase artists back on the label, so it's all kind of piggybacking off each other and helping each other out, all three companies.
Exactly. And so now that we talked about the back end story, who are the cast members? And like you said, these guys are probably fresh, new, up and coming. Who are they?
Okay, let me. I would say I'll start off with Marco Sanchez. He's actually plays the role of Dr. Ashton Caldwell, aka Ash, and his wife in the film Isabella, which is Bella, is played by Brianna Beato. Then we have Jessica, Greg, and Karen and Haley. Those characters are Larissa Carter, Ryan Taylor, Stacey Sanchez, Isabella Stowe. Dr. Mark Douglas and his wife Melissa Douglas is played by Robert Smooth Bryant Jr. and Zoya Bryant. Detective Daniels is I actually cameo myself. Then I have Detective Moore is played by Henry, Jamie Henry. And then we have a couple of extra add-ons. We have Ted, Carla, their husband and wife in that film, and their kids are Lexi and Justin, which is played by Leo Akers, Krista Akers, their husband and wife in real life. Tony is played by Brandon Rotellini. Lexi is played by Taylor Lawson, and Justin by Anthony LaPiccolo. And then we have Veronica, played by Marcela Sanchez, and Anthony by Carlos Vargas. So shout out to my cousin Joe Hooper the third. He actually helped me do some cinematography. Ryan Taylor actually helped me out on a couple of parts when I was actually, filming myself in the film. And my script supervisor, Mandy Lee, aka Mandy Pimental. And we have great makeup artists. Our head department makeup was Gabriella Amar, and we had Tamara O'Shell, and then Aaliyah Dotson, and then sound design we had myself, and actually my sons helped out, Gavin Dotson and Gary Dotson. So
you got the family involved too. So I was like, Aaliyah Dotson. That's good.
The thing is, that's the beautiful thing of having something that's your own, because at the end of the day, we can't take none of this with us when it's over.
Exactly.
So if I can set a platform for, if my daughter loves to do makeup, for example, then I want to set a platform for her and say, hey, try this out, this and that. And she already have a resume by the age of 15, and my son doing sound design by the age of 12 and 10 and stuff like that. Who that's doing stuff like that? So I'm teaching, they taking this, and I can just kind of step away. They can each own a little piece of something and do their own thing. They don't have to do this, but it's just a platform.
Another option. And I like how you.
And then also people that like your family is like, if you involve your family into something that you do, they can understand why you're so busy, why Dad's so busy, but then they also can reap the rewards with you too and say, hey, Dad, we did this movie, and they get excited for it too. But if you just kind of isolate yourself and say, Dad's busy, or I got to work, I got to then it shows as if you don't have time for them. This is more important to them. So I'm actually bringing them involved so I can show them that they are important, and I want them to see how important they are because I'm working this hard for them.
Yeah, and then they could appreciate the process. So
Exactly.
what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into because we spoke on the soundtrack. I got Broken Doll Animal intro queued up.
Yeah.
Could you give us a little backstory on this and how it relates to the movie?
Well, this movie is pretty much like the theme song to the movie. Animal is written and performed by Brandon Rotolini. He actually played the acoustic on it and sang it and everything like that. This particular version, I wanted it to be raw. I didn't want it to be edited or anything like that. However, on the soundtrack, we'll have a fully produced version of it. But this one, I wanted stripped down and raw because it captured the motion that it needed for the introduction of the film into the scene. But this is Brandon Rotolini, Animal.
Okay, you're going to hear this first on Deeper Than Music Radio, where we interview now filmmaker Gary Devon Dotson.
This is Gary Devon Dotson, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
I'm an animal, don't get too close. My blood runs cold, tell me what do you know about being animals? Don't get too close, 'cause we roll animals. I'm an animal. Call me human if you will, but I'm a different breed. Not a man who holds a healthy soul, living my own misery. Clocks are ticking, I'll stay still. People walk right past me, like a stray dog without a home, just wandering these heartless streets. 'Cause we all got demons, we all got secrets, and I might be sick, be a little bit twisted. I'm an animal, don't get too close. My blood runs cold, tell me what do you know about being animals? Don't get too close, 'cause I'm an animal. I'm an animal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Animal on Deeper Than Music Radio, and that's from the soundtrack, upcoming soundtrack to now available movie on Amazon.com, NVE Films, Broken Doll. Yeah, that's yeah, that sets the tone right there. Basically on what you were saying, that sets the tone for the movie.
Exactly.
So how long did it take? Well, actually, let me circle back. So we just listened to the sound, one of the songs on the soundtrack. So when you were making the movie, were you making the soundtrack as well in tangent with the movie, or did you already have songs in your catalog that like, okay, this will fit, this will fit?
Yeah, for the most part, I have a pretty extensive catalog. So the library kind of was able to, I could just pull from there and actually find things. The things that I usually when you're doing film, music surprisingly is the last thing that people ask for. Like even in motion pictures on a bigger level, like if you're looking for a movie like Black Panther, for example, people don't usually get the music for those films to the last minute because they feel they can just get music so much quicker, Yeah. But that's usually the last thing. But with the thing that was honestly that took a little while was the customizing of the sound design, because once you customize the sound design, then it makes more sense to make these piano pieces fit, or this score makes sense, or the music. So the song lyrics have to even have something that even ties in certain parts of the story, or have a certain mood that sets the tone. So it could be consistently, because you don't want to just throw things out there. And that's the job of a good music supervisor that can say, okay, this scene is a love scene. I need this to make people fall in love with this scene. I need this to make people scared. I need this or whatever, So that part came pretty easy for me as far as the having the song libraries and picking the songs that best fit. Actually, we wrote a couple of songs that was actually right for the film. Like we had a Christmas song, we had another song like a reflection type of song called Puzzle Pieces, and then there's also Animal. But the other songs were written off of previous work that I've done with some of my artists, and it just happened to fit perfect.
Yeah, and that's you bring up a good point. I remember, I don't know what movie it was, but the guy was doing sound design, and he had like his little studio set up, but then he had like the film playing and on big screen, and then he was just messing around with music to make it fit for the movie, and that's what I always envision. And when somebody's working on a movie, so how long did it actually take you to from the start of the movie, the start of the filming, to actually doing all the editing? How long was that process from beginning to end?
Because I actually was still learning on the fly as well. It took me a little bit longer. Honestly, the reason it took me a little bit longer is I was working off of a whole cast schedule that sometimes will conflict and say, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And I can't expect everyone to be here at this certain time if they haven't gotten paid yet, or if they have, the regular 9 to 5. So I had to work off people's schedules. But once we got everything filmed, the editing thing that actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. But I was learning as I go. So I would say probably from writing, beginning of starting it to finish, it probably took about a year and 2 months, 3 months. And I honestly think that would have been shaved off by half the time if I didn't have to do so much takes of audio and things like that, and Foley work.
And locations. What were the location of the film? Were there multiple locations? Did you do it all in one location? I know you mentioned you did some drone shots and other things.
Yeah, we actually have shot it in Temecula, California, and also Murrieta, California, and very few pieces in northern San Diego, California.
Okay, so it was all throughout the
Southern California
region. All right, so we'll go into another song, and then we'll discuss more about a feature film that's out on Amazon, Broken Doll. We're going to go into another soundtrack song. I got queued up Fill in the Blanks. How does this fit into the movie, and what is it about?
Okay, Fill in the Blank is one of my favorite love songs, sang by one of my favorite singers, Atrika. She's an artist of mine out in Copenhagen, Denmark. This song I wrote for her project, but it fits so perfectly because in this particular scene, it was already explained to the audience that the doctor says that, you should play music that she should remember and things like that. And that will kind of bring her back to normal as he's up in the dosage to her medicine and stuff like that. So, which is true. Like, music is very therapeutic, and some people might have a loss of memory, but they might heard an Elvis Presley song when they went on their prom date with their wife or whatever, something back in the day, and they'll, for that moment, be, revived or something like that. So this is a song that was called Fill in the Blanks. The song is about someone that is filling in the blanks with love, So you listen to the song, you'll enjoy it. It's going to be on Atrika's upcoming album release sometime towards the end of the year, and it's called Fill in the Blanks by Atrika.
Here we go, Fill in the Blanks, part of Atrika's debut album and going to be on the Broken Doll soundtrack here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
This is Alicia Elliott, and you are listening to Furious on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Every little promise I've broken. It doesn't really seem to change your mind. And you're so consistent. You're patient for my time. You always protect hope in all things I am and more. I've come undone questioning why you're never keeping score. Ain't never fail. Being I can always trust. Say gives me the best. So do you all of the above. You filled in the blanks with love. The funny things in life is not fortune. No. Material things rust and die. I'm alive when you hold me. 'Cause my heart's in your hands. You always protect hope in all things I am and more. I've come undone questioning why you're never keeping score. Ain't never fail. Being I can always trust. Say gives me the best. So do all of the above. You filled in the blanks with love. Love, you are my 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 love.
Deep with the music, Atrika, Fill in the Blanks. For such a person with such a small stature, man, she has a powerful voice. I actually got to see the movie, and I can remember the scene when the song was played. It's definitely a powerful song.
Yeah.
So when making this movie, what would you say was the biggest challenges that you had to face?
You know what? I learned a lot. The biggest thing that I learned was the power of staying quiet on set, because I had so many people talking side conversations in the background that I was able to hear, because I'm very, very attention to detail. So, and I was thinking like, man, I really could have kept the audio footage of people walking in the grass or whatever if somebody else wasn't, whispering, or because I hear things. So, as an engineer, so I have to recreate all the walking in grass. So I literally have to mic myself walking in grass, turning doorknobs, turning on water faucets, doing a lot of things, which I had to learn the hard way, which is good. I'm glad it's over, but next time, nobody, if don't belong there, you're not going to be there kind of thing, because a lot of the headache was the tedious stuff, the little stuff, to be right on time with picking up the keys, right on time with starting the engine and finding a car that actually sounds like that, to give it that real feel, So a lot of the stuff that I had to do was worked. The Foley was redone and everything like that, almost everything. So, which makes for an amazing sound quality, super amazing sound quality. So when you hear it, the film itself, a lot of people say it sounds like something that you would definitely hear in Hollywood. Actually, one of my first reviewers just said it this morning from UK. He was like, the sound effects and stuff like that is something definitely you hear from Hollywood.
And actually, even when we played the trailer, I mean, it's it sounds high budget, Hollywood type of sound. So we mentioned this on Amazon.com. Mm-hmm. Will you be attending any, movie events, expos, etc.? Where could people possibly see you pop up to promote the Broken Doll film?
Well, actually, it's already available on Amazon in the U.S., so Amazon.com. You just go into the video or movie category and type in Broken Doll. Same thing for the people in the United Kingdom is Amazon.uk. Right now, we're in the process of getting it into Japan, Austria, and Germany. We just actually have to do some voiceover work, because in those particular countries, they want it to be actually translated into their language versus just a subtitle. So we're doing that, and probably will have those countries available in those countries in the next possibly 3 to 4 weeks. And around that time, then the soundtrack will be coming out as well. But as far as promotion, you'll probably catch, like, if you're in San Diego, you'll catch me down at Comic-Con this weekend promoting Broken Doll. And if you see me, say, hey, want to help out, say, hey, I want to help, So it's actually, I'm actually took the promotion mentality back to the like 2000s and the 90s and things like that. When artists used to sell CDs at a mall or things like that, I'm actually taking it back to that, because to me, for some reason, if I'm able to go to a convention that's 100,000+ people there, and I can actually meet somebody and say, hey, check this out, here's the flyer, here's blah, 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 and I can represent my brand versus just sending a message that somebody on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and somebody can just click over. It's a difference between shaking a hand or being personal with somebody. That holds a lot more weight.
Exactly. Somebody like, look, I actually met and talked to Gary Devon. Yeah. Exactly. And then that form of promotion will never die. I mean,
Never. Now, I mean, we are still doing the marketing via Facebook and Twitters and Instagrams and all those things. But for events like that, like we'll be at the Orange County Fair, the LA Fair. We're going to hit up Vegas. Even if people can pass out flyers on the strip at Vegas to go to nightclubs and stuff, I'm going to be out there, and my team, we're going to be out there passing out flyers to watch this film. And that way they can, like you said, see the cast members, see the writers, producers, whatever, and be there. Like, because we don't look at ourselves as nobody special. We're not like all Hollywood like that. We were just more like down to earth, and we were doing things. And hey, support something that's good. We actually have a campaign going on right now. It's a shameless plug, but we have a campaign going on right now where if you rent Broken Doll on Amazon, either in the UK or in the US, you have a chance to win $1,000. We're doing weekly prize
There you
giveaways,
go.
whether it's gift cards or to Starbucks, to Amazon, to whoever. We're giving weekly giveaways, and we have a chance to win $1,000 cash just by
There you go.
investing $5 to rent the film, or either if you want to buy it for $14.99, it's up to you. But if you rent the film, film yourself on your phone, ordering the movie on your device or on your TV or whatever. Order the movie, take a video of it, and from there you just tag NVE films and hashtag Broken Doll Films and like tag us in it on Instagram or Facebook, and that counts as your entry. So when we randomly select and we say, hey, this is Ebony so and so or whatever, that person won, and then we'll send them their prize or whatever, and we're just going to randomly select $1,000 winner. That's going to be random a couple of times. Then there's a bonus entry.
Okay, we gotta. Don't mean to cut you off. We got 4 minutes. Last question.
Okay.
What is your biggest takeaway from doing a feature film? From your first feature film, what is your biggest takeaway?
It's actually. I feel that for me, I could see that this is a huge start for something that's on a bigger level. I didn't honestly expect to get into film until maybe I was 60, I would assume.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I did not expect to be 40 and doing a whole film. I just thought that I would just do music but this is it's very rewarding. But it now took my before with music I was able to hit a certain plateau and things like that and win awards and stuff, but this actually takes it on a whole different level because the brain obtains I believe 79% of its memory is based off of visuals. So if I can get in somebody's head and they can remember the things that we do and leave an imprint of the things that we do or said or made, that's a big level. So now I have a platform to on another level to actually bring my visions to life and actually kind of let people witness what's going on or things like that we create.
So now, again, it's on Amazon.com. Gary's going to be at Comic-Con in San Diego. We're going to go ahead and close out the show with one more song. We got Puzzle Pieces from Brianna. Do you want to go ahead and give us a little short description before we close out the show with Puzzle Pieces?
Well, Puzzle Pieces, I wrote that. It was the best. Is basically in this scene, Marco Sanchez, the guy that plays Ash, he's looking for his wife, and he kind of goes to a place that they both would remember, where they actually met and had the first dates and kisses and so on at that location, hoping that she'd just come back to somewhere that she's familiar with. The lyrics and things like that was written to say basically, you're my missing puzzle piece. I need you kind of back. And things are not the same basically without this. I'm incomplete. Okay. So this is Brianna Beato with the soundtrack song Puzzle Pieces.
So and then listeners, make sure you check out the movie and let us know what you think. And then also, Gary, we will be each show we will be plugging the trailer. Thank you again for coming out, and hey, good job with the film, man. Good job with the film. He took a year off for the movies, the music to do the movies, and now the movie's out, and expect more music from NVE Records and this movie from NVE Films.
Exactly. It's just a starting point.
So we go closing out Deeper Than Music Radio with Gary Devon Dotson, Brianna Beato, Puzzle Pieces.
Love